Greetings, everyone. Welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my show, The Emotional Exchanges, coming to you on Fridays at 7 a.m. or whenever you view it. It's a week-long look into the future for your relationships or emotional bonds, issues, things like that. Who do you love? Who's coming towards you, all of that. I do this for each sign of the zodiac with a simple 2-card reading for each, and I use the first card to indicate that emotional challenge or opportunity coming, and then the second card is the action required to kind of make it so, or the action required of the moment. I'm joined here today by our good old friend, Lady Esmeralda, and today I am using the Ibis Tarot deck. I'll show it closer in a few minutes. It's an out-of-print Egyptian-style deck. It's kind of lovely colors. We're going to start off with our usual affirmation from the Universal Love Oracle. So I'd like everybody to relax. Kind of take the moment to breathe. Listen to my voice. Feel yourself relaxing and going into your safe and sacred secret place. All is well and calm. What is our affirmation for today? And of course, it's divine guidance. There is no greater guidance than listening to your heart. If you have chosen this card today, then the message is simply to follow your heart. Have courage and know your heart will guide you safely. Listen, feel the trees sway and the wind. A flower grows, a sound is heard. Listen, your heart yearns to follow rainbows. Love will show you the way. So that was once again from the Universal Love. So it's a nice start to our day. Alrighty then, let's pull up the chair and get going. So once again, as I mentioned, using the Ibis Tarot. You know, I gotta do something about these lights. Starting with Aries, the fire sign. What is the opportunity or challenge coming to you, emotionally speaking? So it's the Three of Pentacles reversed. The opportunity or challenge coming to you is that maybe there is some other kind of relationship that is suffering right now. It may be that it doesn't have enough direction at a leadership type angle, or it may be that the routines that surround us, you know, either the practices or the way things are handled in this situation are not grounded well or well thought out, that maybe there's a flaw somewhere in this. So the challenge may be to try to fix this thing. It looks more like a business relationship. Maybe it's co-workers, but you know, sometimes we are close to our co-workers and we have to figure out how to resolve differences, you know, to work together. So what is the action required? And it's the Four of Swords, and it's upright. And I think that tells me pretty clearly that maybe this is the kind of thing that one or more people involved in the situation need to pull back and maybe take a break. It may be that there's just, depending on a kind of business or situation, we've been getting through some really heady stuff, not even considering Mercury retrograde or the eclipse, but the tax season just finally ended. This could have caused a lot of stress for people. It did for Banshee and me, that's all I can say. So now we are going to move on to Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. Oh dear, and I've messed up my cards. Not horribly though. It's just okay. So now we're moving on to Taurus. Taurus, what is the opportunity or challenge coming to you this week? And it is the Master or King of Pentacles. And not quite unlike Aries, but in a different way, you need to kind of pick up the reins and take control of a situation, especially emotionally speaking, where this may is having the greatest effect. It seems to me like maybe things have gone too far, or maybe things need to be kind of put back into a place. Maybe this is not so much about a primary relationship, but maybe a relationship where maybe there are different roles. So for example, I could see this as parent-children kind of thing, or going back to the work model, could be supervisor and subordinates. It could be any number of situations where maybe somebody needs to be in charge of it, whether that's their traditional role or not. So what is the action required then at this time? A lot of Pentacles here. And it's the reverse Ten of Pentacles. Oh, this is a toughie for me. The action required could indicate maybe, at least temporarily, kind of working outside of your form, outside of your tradition. So if this is about a workplace and maybe there's cliques, hierarchies, or just overall general pools of employees, or whether it's relationships or friend circles, you may need to disengage from that. Or maybe what you'll find is that the support, information, care you're looking for is not going to be there maybe. And so I'm not sure what the action is. The action may be that you're going it alone. All right, on to Gemini. Gemini's an air sign. And opportunity or challenge? It's definitely a challenge. It's the Tower. You may have been putting your ego or reputation or some sort of aspect on the line, and now there's something not working out, and you may have to really understand what it is you got wrong. And so that's the challenge and the opportunity, is to realize in a relationship that you were building or that was built, something went wrong. Maybe you made the wrong move. Maybe you did something that really is nearly unforgivable. But there is a lesson to take away there. What is the action required? And again, it's the Ten of Pentacles reversed. I don't know, Gemini. I think this is saying that you too cannot necessarily rely upon the support of community or others around you, that you might have to figure out how to do this alone. If this is a situation you're going to break up or mess up for yourself, the blame falls totally on you, Gemini, and you'll have to figure out how to do it, probably on your own. Cancer, water sign. Cancer, opportunity or challenge. It's the reverse sun. And the sun reversed is never a bad card, so take heart in that. But Cancer, this could be saying that the opportunity is that maybe there is a small friction or a small beam of shadow or cloud over a relationship. This could even be a relationship between you and children, or children and you, or maybe you and parents or grandparents. It could be anything that is kind of a close situation, but there may be a little bit of a thing going on there, and you may want to see if it's something that you can find out more about and figure out how to totally bring. It's not going to be the end of the world if you don't. It just sort of seems to be this little thing going on there. So what is the action required, perhaps? Okay, it seems to make sense. They call it the victim, but of course it's our friend, the hangman. And the hangman is reversed. And I don't know, I'm almost wondering if that says that the action required is to maybe kind of come down and be normal, come off of the tree and be normal, that maybe there's been a sort of, I won't say a facade, but sort of an aspect of yourself that has disengaged you from maybe family. And so maybe you have to figure out what it is that kind of distanced you. And I think a lot of it was, Cancer, you might have just got too much into your head. You know, sometimes Cancers have Mercury rising as the rising sign because of the proximity to Mercury. I'm sorry. Their Mercury is in Gemini because Gemini is the close related sign. At any rate, it's more likely that maybe some of this is because of Mercury retrograde, perhaps. But I think this is saying, as the hangman reverse, you need to kind of normalize some things a little bit and not be so lofty-minded, Cancer. So needed a quick break for some coffee. But I didn't want to forget Leo. Leo, emotionally speaking, what are your challenges or opportunities this week? I have the Six of Pentacles upright. And the Six of Pentacles talks about flow. Specifically, it can talk about things related to material matters and flow, but we're talking about the emotional exchanges here. This is mostly a good sign. I think this is saying really that your challenge is to continue this rhythm or flow in your life, and it may have these actual financial material aspects to it. But I think the bigger picture must involve your relationships at some point, or your emotional feelings or bonds with other people. So it could be saying really that you're going to be in an enterprise with these people, sharing with them, and that sharing may take, various forms of both emotional sentiment bonding as well as practical material matters that may involve money, may involve security. So what is the action required then? And it's the Page of Pentacles. They call it the Slave. We don't like that. But it's the Page of Pentacles reversed. So the Page of Pentacles reversed as an action required is kind of shoddy here, because it sort of indicates maybe a disinterest in mental curiosity, exploration, or the inability to maybe move yourself forward down those paths that may involve some sense of too abstract thinking, not being able to really focus in certain ways. So this action required almost sounds dubious in a way. It just sounds sort of like that it could be saying really this is a learning experience for you, and that what you may be required is mostly to try to absorb and learn from this process of creating flow. It almost sounds like, you're creating a lottery club or a book club or something like that. I'm not really sure, Leo. It's just kind of interesting because I don't quite have the feel for this, but those are the facts as I see them. So now we'll do Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign. Challenge or opportunity for Virgo. It's the Nine of Swords and it's upright. The challenge or opportunity, there's been some things that have caused you anxiety, and maybe there's been some restless nights, Virgo. Maybe there's been some things that just seem to really prey on your mind and bother you, and you can't quite get around them, and that's your challenge. These things most likely concern people you care about or relationships you're in of various sorts, and there's something there causing you some anxiety. What is the action required? And it's the reverse Ten of Cups. And I'm going to be blunt because I'm a Virgo. I mean, I'm not a Virgo, but I know Virgos can be blunt, and I like Virgos. But I think this is saying that something in the family situation, however you look at family, is not good or well at this point. And you can possibly work on trying to repair that, but it may be a really big situation. And my best advice for you, Virgo, is maybe to kind of back off a little bit, especially if you have been trying to order some things. You may have caused some problems here, or anybody doing something like that may be causing some sense of disease in the family. So I'm going to suggest that we let the anxieties kind of resolve on their own as much as possible. All right, Virgo. Not always the best advice, I suppose. We're moving on to Libra now. Libra, what is your opportunity or challenge? Well, I'd say it's a challenge for sure. It's Judgment reversed. And I think there's an opportunity or challenge here that says there's something you've missed. There's something that is not quite grokking with you in a way. It may be more of a spiritual dimension, or at least something that maybe is more emotional, non-physical. It may be in your mind, sort of. But it may be existential. You may be feeling like there's something that really is an epiphany of sorts for you, but you're not getting it totally. It's a feeling like something has happened, but you can't quite figure out the significance. Or, in fact, you may be wanting to reject that significance. So what is the action required? The action required is the Eight of Cups reversed. The action required suggests that maybe in a way you're not really ready for this, Libra, that maybe there's something going on here that's a little bit above your chakra pay grade of a sort, and that you may be dealing with some things that are just a little bit beyond you at this point. It's not saying that you're not wise enough or intellectual or educated enough, but it could be saying that this is something that maybe has more of a visceral emotional feel that says you want to sort of take your time with it and that you're not really ready to move to that level perhaps, and you're okay with that, Libra. And now moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio's a water sign. If I didn't say so, Libra is an air sign. And of course, I think in general, air signs may be more bothered by Mercury retrograde, possibly fire signs, than others, but it really all depends on the individual chart. So let's see what's going on for Scorpio. And Scorpio is a water sign. What is the challenge or opportunity coming to you, Scorpio? Ace of Swords. In terms of relationships, there's something you really need to start and follow through with. It looks to me like it's more of an interpersonal relationship that has aspects for you that are about education or about some sense of authority, about being in control. It's not necessarily a love or closely bonded relationship, but it's an important one nonetheless. It may be something to do with partnerships in a way. It may be about a new thing going on for you that is human related, that is related to relationships. For myself as a Scorpio, I could sort of see what that is in a way, even for this week. So what is the action required? And it's another sword. Go Scorpio with swords. And it's the Three of Swords. And the action required is sort of contrary in a way because it may be indicating that you sort of want to remove yourself from the situation, or that there's something here that is not going to work out for you. Something that's going to cause some amount of pain. But that's the predictive value of that card. As an action required, this may be saying you need to break an association here. And it may be that it's just not viable in terms of good emotional outlay. So maybe the challenge is realizing that some of the people you work with are not your best and honest partners, and you have to be able to distinguish that and maybe separate it. I'm going to go with that, Scorpios. It's a little brutal there, but I think that's what that's up to. Sagittarius, fire sign. And so we are in our last quadrant of the Zodiac. It's the final four Zodiac signs. What is the opportunity or challenge, Sagittarius? Six of Swords reversed. Emotionally speaking, something's going on that you can't quite leave. It has the looks of maybe being a bad relationship that's a bit dysfunctional, but you're not able to get away from that because there may still be other things going on that need to be addressed. What is that challenge? I mean, what is that action required then? And once again, it's the reverse Ten of Cups. And so once again, this is maybe family stuff, and maybe you need to pull out of or away or kind of have a distance. Maybe it's only temporary between you and people in a family unit, people that maybe emotionally are mostly resonant to you, but at this time, there may be something going on that you probably need to not be a part of. When I look At the Six of Swords, it almost feels like a dysfunctional relationship that you want to be able to leave, but you can't yet. And maybe you have to work through a set of other situations within family bonds, family, kind of qualities. Just going to leave it at that for the Sagittariuses. Thank goodness these are only for a week. Maybe next week will be better, I'm hoping. So now we're moving on to Capricorn, the Earth sign Capricorn. And I've loved using this deck. It shuffles well, and I think the very few repeat cards are really, poignant. So I'm not disagreeing with what's going on there. So Capricorn, opportunity or challenge. And it's another 6, but it's the upright 6 of Wands. Emotionally speaking, you want to be recognized by somebody. Maybe it's by a bunch of people who you care about, a community. Wands are networks. They could be business-oriented, but they could also just be a network of breathing, living people who associate communities of different sorts. And, the Wands always have, your best, maybe more financial kind of ideas there, enterprise, business. But you need to be recognized emotionally by people you care about there, or maybe somebody in particular. Action required. It's Isis, which is the High Priestess. No, it's the Empress. I'm sorry. It's the Empress. How should I not know that? The Empress. Put on the charm. And even do it just for yourself. Exemplify your own central nature or whatever is appropriate in terms of how you want to be recognized. But this is creative. This is highly creative feelings about, business or other things. The Empress just is totally creative, totally visionary, totally able to care for many things. It's the archetype of multitasking. So in order to be recognized, I think you just need to kind of raise your energy level a bit. Now, hopefully that will be enough. All right, Capricorn, now moving on to Aquarius. What is the challenge or opportunity? And it is the High Priestess this time. Unfortunately, she is reversed. The challenge may be that within a relationship, there's something going on that you don't feel you can understand. Like your intuitive feel for this relationship seems to be really strained at this point. And it may be that you have doubts about somebody really caring for you or you really caring for somebody. It may also feel too, like emotionally speaking, there's something that you feel you need to know, a kernel of wisdom that somehow would change or make everything make sense. What is the action required? And it is judgment, again, resurrection. And I think this is saying you need to take, these are really deep cards. You need to take a deep dive into things, especially if it relates to your spirituality vis-a-vis your relationships or your emotional feel for life. So I think, you got something pretty interesting, Aquarius. You really got a chance for this week to really focus inward, dive deeply, understanding the nature of love in your life, etc. And so now we move on to Pisces, our final sign of the Zodiac. It's been a heck of a reading here, but I've loved doing it for you. Trying out a new tripod that gives me a really superior upper camera view, so I'm getting used to trying to look directly to the camera to see you. Pisces, what is the opportunity or challenge? And again, it's Isis. It's I call it Isis, but it's the High Priestess. But she's upright this time. So this is saying you're Intuitive feelings about relationships, or a relationship in particular, are really strong at this point. And it may be about something very specific, either in terms of a kind of relationship or of a going forward in a relationship. If you're already in a really strong relationship, something may be about to happen that really takes it further. And of course, a lot of this is like really esoteric kind of stuff. I know, I can't get really specific here because I'm reading for so many people, but it's very interesting and it seems to fit Pisces. So, action required. Four of Wands, Four of Scepters upright. The action required is not so much a thing to do, but the fact that something is happening, that there is a building. There is a fortification, there's a structuring, a foundation. The Four of Wands, besides being TFT's official party card, is about really celebrating a sense of belonging, a sense of the time of year, the harvest, the celebration of gathering, of people coming together in love and respect for each other. So I think Pisces, the action required is to really come out. A lot of Pisces, can be very reclusive at times. I think what this is saying is, in order to get into that deep stuff, you need to taste the band of humanity. So looking forward to the spring for Pisces and everyone. I'm sure it's been a wonderful time. And of course, this reading was for this week, the week that begins on the 20th. No, the 19th, I'm sorry. How could I forget that? Because it's Banshee's birthday. We're going to have a great birthday. I did record this a couple days earlier. So don't forget to watch all our other shows. We'll also be back tomorrow with our happy hour. I believe it'll be on at 10 a.m. It's regular normal time, normally. And then, of course, we are back with Banshee's Material Matters, Sundays at 10 a.m. It's recorded, but we are live there in the chat room, and we have a pretty good time. Most of our regulars join us, and we yuck it up or expand on the reading, etc. Also, we have a live reading, 2 hours, our regular live stream, Sunday afternoons, 2 to 4 p.m., where you can ask longer questions. The happy hour on Saturdays is pretty much just a one poll, no question. We give you the positive message. We also do another live show on Thursday nights, so that'll be next week, and that's from 7 to 9 p.m. And during the week, it's peppered with maybe another show or two by me or Banshee or who knows what. We're in an exciting period where we're kind of revisioning and retooling some of the things we're going to do. So stay tuned. We'll catch you all later.